Hi, welcome to IELTS Reading, Tax Types and Procedures. My name is Angel Amayo. In this video, I am going to lay out before you a roadmap that you can follow to cover all the areas that you need to study to prepare adequately for your IELTS reading test. Next, I'm going to walk you through a list of the 14 reading tax types in IELTS reading. Then, I'm going to show you the 4 essential reading skills that you need to have to be able to tackle the 14 tax types. Finally, I am going to demonstrate to you a powerful technique that you can apply to locate your answers quickly in matching headings question type, which is useful as well in virtually all other question types in your IELTS reading test. The 14 reading tax types in the next clip. There are 14 reading task types in IELTS reading. Number 1, matching headings, matching features, matching information, matching sentence endings, sentence completion, note completion, summary completion, flowchart completion, table completion, diagram labeling, WH questions, multiple choice, true false not given, and yes no not given. These are the 14 task types that anyone who is preparing for IELTS must be familiar with before taking the test. If you are not familiar with the format and procedures to take to attack these question types, then you are not ready to take the test. Anyone who is prepared to take the test must have completed the course of practicing these reading task types. One of the reasons why many students fail the test is simply because they are not familiar with these task types. So, take it from me, you must be familiar with the format and procedures of each of these task types before you take the test. In the next clip, I am going to show you the 4 essential reading skills that you need to have in order to be able to tackle these reading task types. There are 4 reading skills that you need to have in order to be able to tackle the 14 reading task types in IELTS reading. Number 1 is survey. In survey, you read the heading and subheadings if there are subheadings to have a sense of what the subject matter of the passage is likely going to be. It is always necessary to try to guess from the very beginning of reading a passage, guessing from the title or heading of that passage what the subject matter is going to be. And if the paragraphs inside a passage have headings, it is also important to take a look at their headings, because the heading of each paragraph gives a sense of what the main point of that paragraph is. The next reading skill you need to be familiar with is skimming. In skimming, you read the first sentence of the paragraph carefully and skip along to the last one to identify the main theme or point in the paragraph. This is extremely important. It is important to have some objective in mind when reading any paragraph. And the first thing to do is to read the first sentence, because the first sentence of a paragraph states the main point. The first sentence of a paragraph is known as topic sentence. As its name suggests, the sentence that states the topic of the paragraph. So it is important to pay attention to what the first sentence of a paragraph says. Once you have been able to identify the main point, that is what the first sentence of a paragraph says, you can take that as the main point and therefore read the remaining sentences, since the remaining sentences are the details that support that main point. And in many cases, it is not necessary to read the details, especially in matching headings question type. It is not necessary to read the details in order to be able to decide what your answer is. So this is skimming. Later, you will learn more about this from the demo that you will watch in the course of this lesson. The next reading skill is scanning. In scanning, you read for details. Unlike in skimming, where you read to identify the theme or the main point, in scanning, your goal is to see how the details that are given support the first sentence of a paragraph. So you read carefully for details or for a specific detail that supports the theme or the main point of the paragraph. Scanning is essentially required when attempting matching features, matching information, matching sentence endings, and many other question types. But we often don't use scanning or skimming or survey alone. As we read through a particular question type, we often have to combine these reading skills to arrive at the answers that we are looking for. Finally, which is not often talked about, parsing as a reading skill. Some people call it close reading, but I call it parsing. Now, in parsing, your focus is on sentence analysis. As this says, it says, you read the sentence that contains the information that you are looking for carefully to recognize its subject and predicate. If you do not know the meaning of subject and predicate, don't worry about these now. Later, you're going to learn about them. But essentially, every sentence can be divided into two parts, namely the subject and the predicate. The subject is as its name suggests, the subject, the element about which something is said, or the element about which something will be said. And then the predicate is actually what is said about it. You will see this later in our demo session, where we apply these reading skills to answer matching headings question type. In the next clip, we begin to look at the steps that you need to take in order to answer questions on matching headings. Here we are at matching headings. Now, here we are still theorizing. We are still giving you instructions, just trying to give you the theory of it. In the next clip, we are going to begin to practice, but it's often useful. It is a fundamental reading, or rather teaching procedure, to first give a set of instructions to students, how to do it, and then eventually practicing it. So right now, I am going to give you the theoretical steps that you can follow to answer any questions on matching headings. Now, the first step to take in answering questions on matching headings is to read the task directions carefully and look at the layout of the question type to confirm that it is a matching headings question type. Once you've confirmed that it's a matching headings question type, the next step is you go to the first paragraph of the text to identify its main theme or the main point by reading only the first sentence and the last one. Now, you read the first sentence and the last one because, as I have said before in the previous clip, the first sentence states the main point, whereas others support that main point. And finally, you need to go to the list of headings to check which heading matches the point that you have understood from the paragraph. So as you can see, it says finally go to the list of headings to choose the one that matches the theme or main point of the paragraph. And then there is always an instruction that tells you how you should write down your answer. So you should write down the letter of that paragraph as your answer to the questions. So you can see here that there are 3 steps that you need to take to answer questions on matching headings. Congratulations, you have just learned the theory of it. In the next clip, we are going to have a demo of the procedure of matching headings question type.